colorful Monday morning, my friends. Once again, dear students, hearty welcome to the online classes of St. Thomas School on English Grammar. Today, we are going to see the 11th chapter of our syllabus in page number 56. In this chapter, we are going to deal with verbs. Now, let us see that chapter in detail. Now, verbs are called the action verbs or doing verbs. That means they express some action, event, or a state of being. So, what is the work of verb? To express an action or an event or a state of being. For example, singing is an action, or talking is an action, or watching this is an action. Now, an event happen or raining is an event or occurring something is an event. Now, is, exist, was can be called as a state. That means I am present here, you are in home. All these are called state of being. Now, these verbs can be classified into two. One is the main verb and the second one is the auxiliary verb. Or these auxiliary verbs also can be called as helping verbs. Now, when we compare these two verbs, main verbs are plenty, but auxiliary verbs can consist in a small group. Now, the examples are given in your textbook. First of all, let us see the main verbs. Eat, study, run, accompany, erase, understand, modify, produce. All this can be called as the main verb. Now, auxiliary verbs, the forms of be, that is, am, are, or was, were, all those. Then do, have, will, can, may, shall, would, could, might, should, and must. These are called the auxiliary verbs. Now, how we can use those things in a sentence? Now, main verbs can stand independently in a sentence, or it can be combined with the helping verb or the auxiliary verb. But the auxiliary verb cannot stand alone. It will be always with the main verbs. And if only the auxiliary verb come, then that will be becoming the main verb that we shall see later. Now look at the example there. Neha bought a candle stand, or Stephen goes to school by car. There, look at bought and goes. Those are the independent main verbs. Now look at the next sentence. Next few sentences you will see will buy, then can go. So those things are called will plus can be called as auxiliary verb. Then will, buy, go are called as the main verb. Now we shall have a few examples. Be, do, have. As a main verb, I am Sunanda. Then as auxiliary verb, I am painting the wall. Please do the cleaning. I do not like cricket. I had a cup of coffee a while ago. I have written a short story. From these things, we can understand that sometimes this auxiliary verb can stand alone. Then the thing is that auxiliary verb will be becoming the main verb. For example, look, I am Sunanda. There am has become the main verb. That's why it is given as main verb, then as auxiliary verb. Now we shall see the both the kinds little more in an advanced form. Now, main verbs also can be called as full verbs because they stand in a sentence independently. Now, there are four forms. First one is transitive and intransitive main verbs. Then another one is regular and irregular verbs. Now, first of all, let us see what do you mean by transitive and intransitive verbs. Now, the main difference between The transitive verbs and the intransitive verbs are the place of object. Transitive verbs always need an object to complete their meaning. But intransitive verb do not need an object or any other element to complete the meaning. For example, Sarayu cleans the room. If you say Sarayu cleans, then the sentence is incomplete. The room is also to be added. Or another one, Amrita gave me a cup of ice cream. Amrita gave. What Amrita gave? There is no meaning in the sentence. So the transitive verbs cannot stand alone, but they need an object. Now let us see about the intransitive verbs. As I have told you, they do not need an object. Now the sentence, Namita laughed. Now there is nothing to be added because that is a complete sentence. Or all of us walked fast. Or the snow is falling. That is a complete sentence. So there is no need of object. But sometimes the subject complements are added. That means telling more about the subject to complete the meaning. But that is not an object. For example, Radha is happy. There, happy is being used to tell or compliment about the subject Radha, or I feel excited. It is being told, the excited is being told about me. So only the subject complement will be used. Now, many verbs are transitive in one context and intransitive in another. For example, he opened the door. There, opened is being used as a transitive verb. But look at the next sentence. The door opened. There is no object in that sentence. So, there opened is being used as an intransitive. Or look at the next sentence. They have finished the game. There, finished is being used as the transitive verb. But look at the sentence. Next sentence. The game has finished. There, finished has become the intransitive verb. Now we shall say about regular and irregular verbs. Now, you know how to make the past form of a verb if you get a verb. So, if you make the past form with D or ED, then those verbs are called the irregular verbs. I'm telling you again, those verbs with which we can make the past form by adding D or ED to their base form are called the regular verbs. So, just opposite to that one are called irregular verbs. That means the past tense forms can be made in other ways. Now, when you see the example, you will understand. Now, look, laugh, laughed. We have just added ed, or fade, faded, or cried, cried, or pray, prayed. So, those are called the regular verbs. Because with the regular verbs, we add ed or d. Now, irregular verbs. Look, speak, spoke, ride, rode, forget, forgot, go, went, make, made. There, the base forms are different than the past tense form. Speak, spoke, or go, went. So, those are called the irregular verbs. Now, when you look into the your exercise also, the first one, sit. If you that one is called the sat. The past tense form of sit is sat. So that is a irregular verb. Or the second one, act, acted. We have added d or ed with the act. So that is a regular verb. Now we are going to see about auxiliary verbs. Now, two things to understand. First one is it is a helping verb, so so this cannot stand independently without a main verb. So that is the first rule. For example, Sumesh can speak Marathi. There, can is being used as an auxiliary verb because speak is being followed. The main verb is being followed. Now, two kinds of auxiliary verbs. First one is primary verbs, that is the forms of be or forms of do plus the forms of how, that means is, are, am, was, were, will, would, all those. Then do, does, did, then how, had, has, all those things. Then modal auxiliaries, which express possibility, necessity, permission, and prediction, such as will, can, may, shall, would, could, might, should, and must. Now let us see this one in little more detail. Now, first one is all the auxiliary verbs are irregular verbs. As you remember, with the regular verbs we add just d or ed, but with the irregular verbs the other ways. So here all the auxiliary verbs are irregular verbs. Now they form their past tense forms in irregular ways. Now, what are the uses of these auxiliary verbs? Now, the primary verbs, we shall see about two things, primary verbs as well as the modal auxiliaries. So, the primary verbs such as be, do, and have has many grammatical uses. First one is to make a negative sentence. For example, I brushed my teeth. I did not brush my teeth. I watched my grammar class. I did not watch my grammar class. And second one is to make the continuous tense. Past continuous, present continuous, and future continuous. For example, I am brushing my teeth, or I am watching the grammar class, or I was watching my grammar class. I will be watching my grammar class. Now, to make the perfect tense, past perfect, present perfect, and future perfect, I have brushed my teeth, or I had brushed my teeth. So, these are the uses of these primary verbs. Now, modal auxiliary usages. Now, in the examples, the usage of the modal auxiliaries are given. First one is ability. That means Satish can read Arabic. Or permission. You can have the cake now. Or suggestion, then request, then possibility, then another possibility in the past form. Then may I use the washroom to give the permission. Now to indicate the future, we use the modal auxiliary. So then to indicate the past habit, we use the modal auxiliary. Then for the obligation to, we use the modal auxiliary. Then for suggestion to, we use the modal auxiliary. Now with this the chapter ends, and whatever we have seen, just let us recap it in a few seconds. We have seen verbs. Verbs are action words or doing words, two kinds: main verbs or auxiliary verbs, or auxiliary verbs can be called as helping verbs. In the main verbs there are two kinds: one is transitive and intransitive, and the second one is regular and irregular. Then when we come to the auxiliary verbs, two kinds: primary verbs, then the second one is modal auxiliary verbs. That's what we have seen in this chapter. Now, with this, you will be getting a PDF of all the answers. So make sure that you write all those things to your books and study. Now, before ending this class, I would like to give a small quotation. That is, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. As you know, what do you mean by rainbow and what do you mean by clouds? So, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Thank you. Thank you, friends.